A very good morning to ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to present about my research paper, which is the influence of management support and self-efficacy on individual entrepreneurial orientation to enhance job performance among employees in Klang Valley Takaful insurance sector. My name, Vanaja Paramasivam from Peninsula College, Shah. Today's firm operate in a highly competitive environment characteristic by the constant change in technologies, market and consumer expectation, which together contribute to instability and unpredictability. To remain competitive in today's fast-paced and ever-changing business unpredictable, business must understand how to foster innovation and change within their enterprise. Leaders must instill an entrepreneurial mindset in their staff to foster entrepreneurial within the firm and spur innovation to thrive in a highly competitive market. Hence, organizations look for proactive, risk-taking and innovative employees within entrepreneurial mindset, as well as leaders who foster entrepreneurialism. Thus, the need for entrepreneurial orientation research at the individual level become apparent as an entrepreneurial oriented firm is a product of the entrepreneurial mindset individuals that work there. Without the individual, there is no organization. Indeed, the academic community has begun to recognize the critical role of individual entrepreneurial orientation in an organizational overall innovation process. And the necessity to investigate it has grown over the time. According to International Monetary Fund, IMF, Malaysia insurance business is one of the world's largest among countries with similar level of economic development. The industrial in Malaysia has faced several obstacles since the financial crisis of 2007 to 2008. Despite improvement in some areas, for example, like insurance product, innovation, and technical advancement. Hence, employee performance in Malaysia Insurance Company play an essential role in growing the insurance business to be Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. Furthermore, maintaining a strong economy is critical to the well-being of every country. To have a well-balanced economic, we should have a rapidly growing economic, a better quality of life, a cleaner environment, and more advanced technology contribute to a happier and healthier populace. National economic policy should therefore be centered on achieving and sustain growth. The insurance, banking, and security sector all plays a vital role in the economic growth. Individuals and businesses alike are affected both directly and indirectly by the industrial dual function as a source of infrastructure and revenue. A country's capital can be allocated to be more effective and most viable investment when the insurance sector is functioning correctly. Okay, next. Problem statements. Problem statement here highly relative to challenges in insurance human capital sectors becoming increasing. According to the study, there is a strong correlation between cognitive ability, social perspective, management knowledge, and communication skill in the financial service occupational group. The insurance industry has not yet established a solid reputation, and as a result, this form of protection is not very widely available. It has been shown that human resource management can significantly impact employees' attitude, behavior, and productivity in a research study done by Noe and his friends in 2012. Developing human capital is at the heart of Malaysia economic transformation strategy to keep the public and private sector at the forefront of economic development. It is recommended that human capital be strengthened and that human resources are equipped with the necessary competency. It is in the best interest of both of the company and the country if employees are given incentive to cultivate an entrepreneurial mindset. According to the World Economic Forum, the drop in Malaysia Global Competitiveness Index rating from 21st in 2008 to 2009 and to 26th in 2010 to 2011 is a cause of alarming. Increasing output and efficiency, particularly in the service industry, can foster an entrepreneurial innovative mindset within Malaysia workforce. It's according to the OECD report in 2017. In a 1990 survey I've done for 2,589 employees in Singapore, performance pressure and work-family conflict were identified as the primary factor of job stress for employees in the insurance business, according to Econdio 2014. Additional cause of stress in the industrial sector included the possibility of dealing with demanding or complex clients, employees' ability to survive and advance in the insurance industry, time constraint, and meeting deadline. Working continuously to achieve targets, the mental strain associated with work, and work overloaded. Therefore, employees have low self-esteem when highly related to job requirements, according to the research of Kumar in 2016. Furthermore, the life insurance market is through a period of increasing consumerism, changing consumer preferences and expectation because of improved educational level and personal wealth. This is significant untapped market with 42.9% of the population or approximately 16 million people does not have any form of life insurance and family Takaful policy, according to the research of conduct by Raihan in 2012. According to Zalina in 2008, in Zohir research in 2014, research stated that the most complaints are related to insurance company offering inadequate and incorrect information, providing lousy service, being unfair and delaying the settlement of claims, conspiring, price fixing, and exhibiting a lack of professionalism. These trends necessitate the insurance firm in Malaysia seek trustworthy, competent, knowledgeable, superior talent and experienced personnel and retain industrials employees to tap the market and better serve their consumer. Thus, employee performance is directly related to the firm performance and adherence to best practice in service-based industry. Pay and Tu in 2011 in Lean Research in 2017 emphasized that critical nature of consumer service at all contact points with the consumer in achieving a satisfied customer. This is even more patent in the financial industry. And last but not least, one of the problem statement that we can see here is, according to the research of over 120 insurance chief executive officers, between 50% to 60% of insurance executive believe that identifying and attracting new talent is getting increasingly tricky. This is based on the Martin research in 2016. Last but not least, poor self-efficacy result in burnout and distress among employees. When a worker's efficiency is poor, he or she may be unable to recall information, make sound judgment, or take appropriate action that may be important for his or her performance and productivity. Additionally, workplace aggressiveness have been demonstrated to be prevalent among workers with low self-efficacy who are already stressed, just as a co-worker aggression has been demonstrated to be prevalent among workers with low self-efficacy. As a result of this preceding discussion, significant concern regarding the effect of self-efficacy on employee performance surfaced. Self-efficacy can influence employees' training and development, well-being. To what extent? Numerous studies on self-efficacy have been undertaken using a unit-variant pattern. However, several studies have been conducted on the effect of multivariate factors on self-efficacy level. These studies arise to bridge this divide by examining the effect of disparities in self-efficacy level of insurance sector staff based on training, performance, and well-being. At the research gap. In research gap, we can say that most research on employees' entrepreneurial spirit in an organization focus more on the company or firm as a whole than on individual. In other words, organizations are utilized as the unit of analysis rather than individual. Although the concept of entrepreneurship in the workplace focus on human activity and behaviors, according to the research, internal entrepreneurs or corporate entrepreneurship has been defined in several ways by Sharma and Prisman in 1999 in Nabila's research 2016. Of the 27 definitions of entrepreneurship found among personnel in the organization were derived from studies at the individual level. Studies of entrepreneurial activity in organization should be undertaken in many types of unit of analysis. Okay, there have been many studies on corporate entrepreneurship, but most have focused on the level of organization. For that reason, we are proposing a framework of management support and self-efficacy as the independent variable with entrepreneurial orientation element and measuring on employees' job performance in insurance company. Even though the importance of entrepreneurship is easier to understand, more research and exploration still need to be done. Relatively, there is less past research that has been done in the context of evaluating proactiveness, risk-taking, and innovativeness at the individual level. These studies prove the gap by exploring the relationship between entrepreneurship orientation, individual level, and employee job performance in the insurance industry. Hence, the researcher will focus on how management support and self-efficacy influence on employee performance in the insurance sector, which help to enhance the gap in the industrial. Next, I'm going to discuss on the research questions. For this research, there is several questions to be answered. First, what relationship is between management support and proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking? Second, relationship between self-efficacy with proactive, innovativeness, and risk-taking. And the third one will be what relationship do management support and self-efficacy affect job performance? And what is the relationship between proactive, innovativeness, and risk-taking on job performance? So these are the 4 research questions. Next will be the research objective. The research objective for this research will be the first one, to examine the significant relationship between management support and proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking. Secondly, to examine the significant relationship between self-efficacy with proactive, innovativeness, and risk-taking. The third one will be to examine the significant relationship between management support and self-efficacy on job performance. And the last one will be to examine the significant relationship between proactive, innovativeness, and risk-taking on job performance. The significance of studies, entrepreneurship and innovation are 2 terms which is refer to the process by which we achieve business success. According to Peter Drucker, entrepreneurship and innovation were inextricably linked, and thus there was a wealth of knowledge on these two concepts. Indeed, numerous academic researchers published work identified entrepreneurial firm and examining the relationship between firm characteristics and performance. Entrepreneurial business are comprised of employee or individual who exhibit the entrepreneurial spirit and behavioral necessary to ensure the company's overall performance is competitiveness. Individual entrepreneurial orientation quantified the extent to which entrepreneurial personalities exhibits specific characteristics at the corporate level. Next, we're going to discuss about the literature review. For this literature review, will be focused on the first part will be management support with proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking. There will be a previous researchers has been established more discussion on the strong relationship between management support and proactive behavior, which is associated with employees' entrepreneurial orientation to improve their job performance. Additional research also been examining the effect and mechanism of various leadership style on proactive behavior of employees will demonstrate this. Thirdly, the leadership support of employee has a significant impact on the growth of proactive behavior. Leader supports can assist employees in developing a greater sense of autonomy and increasingly their ability and willingness to initiate future-oriented change. By enhancing employee self-efficacy and autonomous motivation, leaders support in terms of encouragement, availability, and non-intervention indicates positive working behavior. And last but not least, individual with severe attachment anxiety rely substantial on secure-based support from their leader to establish self-efficacy and proactive behavior. So this is the findings that is the literature review we can find out from Hesio and Wong in 2020 research. On the other hand, the factors of effective individual innovativeness at the organizational level are the most difficult to analyze. They can range from the CEO characteristic to firm size, organizational culture, and market share. In terms of innovativeness employee behavior, organizational factor may be more predictive of successfully commercialization innovation than employees' productivity to generate innovative and creative idea. In contrast to more recent research indicate that innovativeness at the macro organizational level studies and theory examine on it do influence the broader context in which employees conduct their daily work. And as such, we believe it is vital to account for them. And last but not least, for risk-taking behavior refer to a person's desire and ability to take calculate risk in the goal of attaining a positive outcome in a scenario where negative repercussions are anticipated. Thus, how an organization responds to risk and the degree to which it takes risk can influence its operation. According to June, in 2020 studies, risk-taking behavior can vary according to the leader's leadership style. Managers' cognitive orientation may affect how they perceived positive and negative performance, feedback, and gap between actual and desired performance level. In this regard, reintroducing managerial um, pre-clear peculiarities into job tradition is a worthwhile and fascinating endeavor, according to the research done by Glazer in 2016. Okay, next will be basically focus on management support and job performance. In this research study, management support referring to managers' willingness to accommodate employees' tasks and schedule and help enable employees to manage their work more effectively and efficiently. It can be critical organizational culture factor that influence employees' attitude and behavior. And according to on the other hand, employees who perceive their organization to have a higher level of management support has a higher effective commitment and employees' performance. According to these studies, when managers are supportive, employees demonstrated a greater level of effective commitment and thus perform better. In contrast, when managers are not supportive, employees become angry and frustrated with the organization. So that's where the lack or reduced level of effective commitment, resulting in decreasing level of employee performance. Next will be self-efficacy with proactive innovativeness and risk-taking. According to the research Koyak in 2015 revealed that proactive personality associate across might be modified through the mediating role of self-efficacy. And this is been claimed by Parker, adopting that proactive action involved in cognitively motivated choice process based on the expectation theory of motivation in the Subramaniam research in 2020. Previous research has established that employees who have a higher sense of creativity, self-efficacy, are more likely to absorb in higher level of creativity at work and thus more likely to exercise creativity when they are perceived solid organizational support. Individual with a proactively able to take risks will process a self-efficacy in controlling their business position. Individuals who are encouraged enough to accept risk are optimistic in their ability to exert control over the circumstances. This finding been took from Peng and Mao in 2015. Okay, hereby this is the theoretical framework of this research. Okay, this being adopted from the model of corporate entrepreneurship strategy by Hornby in 2002, Antonic Histrich in 2004, Kuratko and his friends in 2004. And also we are based on integrated with another theory, which is social cognitive theory by Bandura 1986 and individual entrepreneur orientation by Lumpkin Des 1996. Okay, so this theoretical framework highlight about management support and self-efficacy were used as independent variable in this study. Meanwhile, the mediator variable in these studies are individual entrepreneurial orientation dimension, such as innovativeness, proactiveness, and risk-taking. In addition, job performance is the dependable variable for this study. Therefore, all the variables were examined to determine the significant relationship between management support, self-efficacy, proactive innovativeness, and risk-taking with job performance among middle-level managers, those who are working in Takaful insurance. Overall, this study aims to fill the gap and identify the significant relationship between management support and self-efficacy factor with individual entrepreneurial orientation subdimensions such as proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking towards job performance among employee and generate the hypothesis accordingly as stated. Okay, this research design, mainly this research been focused on quantitative method by using a SPSS 26 vision. And I also run the Pearson correlation and simple linear regression to, to analyze the data and investigate the relationship between variables. The target group was determined based on random sampling strategy, which the survey have been done for 85 respondents. All the relevant 11 hypotheses of the study were accepted, which indicate all the objective of the study had been examined and achieved. So this is the result based on simple linear regression analysis for 11 hypotheses. Okay. And this is another 6 hypotheses. Right. Okay. And now we're going to discuss about the summary of result interpretations. Okay, the first result is basically focus on the relationship between management support with proactive innovativeness and risk-taking. The study examined the relationship between management support and entrepreneurial orientation dimension, highlighting significant findings for proactive behavior and innovativeness, but an insignificant link with risk-taking. So, various scholars such as Stevenson and Jerry in 1989 in Bhaskaran research mentioning that it also support the notion the management support fosters innovation and proactive behavior among employees. Additionally, resources availability as emphasized by Khan in his research in 2021 and Ferreira research in 2020 plays a crucial role in promoting innovation. While some studies like Poon and Raja Azima in 2006 suggest that supportive management can lead to job satisfaction and encourage employees to take calculated risk. The literature overall underscores the importance of management support in cultivating innovative behavior in the workplace. Next will be the relationship between self-efficacy with proactive innovativeness and risk-taking. Result finding based on 3 hypotheses concerning the relationship between self-efficacy and entrepreneurial orientation dimension, specifically focused on proactive behavior, innovativeness, and risk-taking. The study found significant relationship with self-efficacy and this entrepreneurial dimension among middle-level managers in Takaful insurance, indicating a capacity to foster entrepreneurialism. Self-efficacy is defined as the manager's ability to gain a competitive advantage through tasks such as client acquisition, capital procurement, regulatory compliance, and technology adoption. Previous research done by uh, Donvesky, Park, and Liu in 2017 support the notion that entrepreneurial-oriented behavior predicts self-efficacy, leading to proactive decision-making, innovation, and risk-taking, thereby enhancing entrepreneurial orientation. Next will be the relationship between management support with job performance. Research indicate that employees perceive high level of management support exhibit greater effective commitment and enhanced performance, underscoring the importance of supportive managerial relationship. Next, conversely, a lack of support from manager can lead to employee frustration and decreased performance level within the organization. The equitable treatment of employees guided by theories such as Blau's social exchange theory and Adams' equity theory encourage positive behavior among employees who perceived fairness in procedural and distribute justice within the organization. The next result will be highlighted based on the relationship between self-efficacy with job performance. Self-efficacy and job performance have a moderately significant relationship. This study findings collaborative with Bandura's prior research, which established a positive correlation between self-efficacy and job performance. In addition, employees who have a higher sense of self-efficacy set more difficulty goals and are more dedicated to achieving them. However, employees who set their sights on more challenging goal strive to greater heights and are more likely to succeed. Individuals with higher self-efficacy are more likely to do well in work and showing a good performance compared to the people who with lower self-efficacy. This finding um, will be merged with Bandura research in 2015. The relationship between proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking with job performance. These research findings showing that encouraging creative and proactive behavior enhance individual ability to seek and utilize novel information effectively, aiding in understanding consumers better. Okay, so this is the proven based on Mamun, Chen, and Hayes research in 2017 and 2011. While the relationship between risk-taking and job performance appears weak, and organizational performance and overall job performance, as is evidenced by studies focusing on innovation climate. So this finding uh, have a connectivity with NIDI, Iqbal, Yuan, and Woodman researchers. The implication of research I would like to divide into two, which is theoretical implication and practical implication. Theoretical implication shows that the study has proven that there is a significant relationship between management support as an internal organizational factor and self-efficacy as a psychological empowerment factor mediated to IEO, which means individual entrepreneurial orientation such as proactiveness, innovativeness, and risk-taking towards job performance. As suggested in the theoretical framework, this study also provides empirical support to prove the positive relationship between all the factors, entrepreneurial orientation dimension, and job performance are interrelated. Moreover, the current research also contributes to the importance of management support, self-efficacy, entrepreneurial orientation dimension to predict the job performance level. Furthermore, the theory's implication of the corporate entrepreneurship model, social cognitive theory, and individual entrepreneurial orientation theory practically support the research studies briefly. Next, practical implications as corporate entrepreneurship promotion has become critical to the success of every organization in the modern era. This research helps leaders better to understand how their behavior can help subordinates be more innovative, proactive, and risk taker. The finding of these studies can be used to guide leadership development because they provide a clear picture of the behavior that should be adopted to increase subordinates' entrepreneurial orientation. For instance, this study suggests that it is critical for leaders to maintain effective working relationship with their subordinate as their result in increased proactiveness and risk-taking As a result, training based on this finding of this study may help the superiors to develop the necessary leadership competency. Research limitation and what are the suggestions for the future research? First of all, the study has several limitations. First, of the corporate entrepreneurship assessment instrument CEAI model, the researcher only tests on management support variable for these research studies and integrated with the individual entrepreneurial orientation dimension such as proactiveness, innovativeness, risk-taking. So therefore, the other elements under the corporate entrepreneurship assessment instrument also can be used. Secondly, we can say that this research for now, due to time limitation, we just focus on the insurance industry. But then the same application can be applied for other industries as well, such as manufacturing, logistics, and service sector to evaluate employees' entrepreneurial intention and their job performance level. Okay, so therefore, future research can include can also include other dimensions, okay, under the corporate entrepreneurial assessment instruments such as job autonomy, organizational boundaries, work discretion, time availability, these kind of variables. Finally, the entrepreneurial orientation dimension, such as proactiveness, risk-taking, and innovativeness, should test based on demographical factor to examine the characteristic of an employee towards entrepreneurial intention. As a conclusion, I would like to summarize that businesses must strive to accelerate entrepreneurial activities to maximize employee well-being and business performance in today's competitive environment. The purpose of this study was to elucidate the availability of corporate entrepreneurship as a part to business performance and as a mediator of employees' engagement. Employees are the engine that propel an organizational forward. They should have the authority to carry out their entrepreneurial intention within the organization. Hence, the current study has increased the researchers' knowledge and comprehensive of how corporate entrepreneurship can benefit business performance and employee engagement in the insurance sector. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.